The other day, I come across this news article which made me chuckle because it was quite obvious it was 100% BS. It was about an individual in their 60s who decided to have an activity carried out on them, is the way I will say it, about 200 times. And I looked at the amount of time this activity has been available and divided that among the 200 odd times I apparently did it. And the answer I came up with in my head was BS. This was actually reported by GB News. Now, if you think GB News is not really what we were led to believe in the first place, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts. Because of this, I did a video which was entitled GB News Fooled You and backed it up with a survey as well. There's the thumbnail that I put with the actual video. And I encouraged people to actually say what you think of GB News now, as opposed to what it was like in the beginning. And I wanted to go through some of those comments with you as a little readback video. So here we go. Right, William, didn't fool all of us, all just puppets. Neil Oliver needs to do what Tucker Carlson has done. Well, William, they've pushed Neil Oliver to an online streaming presence only, haven't they? So that's the only place you'll see him. And I wonder whether Farage will follow. And you could edit and chop and change all of that all you like. Cloud Dog, the only time GB News will regain any respect and credibility is allowing Katie Hopkins and Tommy Robinson on. The fact they haven't and probably never will speaks volumes. I agree with you. And there's another YouTuber that said the same. I'll stick a link to that video in the description. Roy, if you're controlled by Ofcom, you're censored. They haven't been created for nothing. Head of Ofcom attends Davos, FFS. Yeah. Let's have a look at another one. You got loads of replies to that, so I think you've hit the nail on the head somewhere. Michael, manipulated by the back door. GB News has been playing the game for months now. Certain presenters will give a little glimpse of what we want and then conform to the media narrative. We see it. We see it. The Mole, I don't watch any news or listen to any radio news and have not bought a paper for years. That way you can think freely without being indoctrinated. Spoke to a friend of mine earlier today, actually, who thinks exactly the same. Not too censoring. Yeah, Boris and Sage were absolutely lying through their back teeth. Well, this is the thing that I don't like about GB News. It's politicians. They seem to be infiltrated by politicians. Jacob Rees-Mogg, Lee Anderson, Richard Tice, well, even Nigel Farage, if you want to call him a politician. It just, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's go back to them. I've noticed they never report on anything connected to Tommy Robinson, which I thought when GB News started would be the sort of news items they would follow. Well, that's what they led us to believe, wasn't it, Jeff? You know, free speech, the nation's broadcaster. Bill, glad you caught on. Do politicians lie? They're all in on it. Thank you for that. Claire, I won't read that comment out because that could get me in a spot of bother, but thank you. Nothing to see here. I'd still rather watch GB News and the BBC any day with their biased reporting. Agreed. I agree with you there. Trev's travels by narrow boat. I've not watched GB News for some time now. I do not want to watch MPs. This is the problem. They've all ended up on that programme. It's not good. Peter Barkworth, at the end of the day, GB News is a business which is also subject to Ofcom regulations. So beware and stay sceptical. I like GB News, but became less enamoured of it when they ditched Mark Stein. They made me realise they are gutless. Remember, stay sceptical. Thank you for the videos, Andy. You're welcome, Peter. Thank you for your comment. Arthur, as the Cornish say, You're doing a proper job. Sorry about the accent. Kind of break into it. Mike, the worst phrase ever heard in the English language. It said so in the paper. Or they said so on the radio, stroke TV. Absolutely. Mind you, I'm guilty of that in that video, aren't I? Able Sentry, when Mark Stein was let go, I knew the gig was up for me with GB News, and they're consistent fools, like Benji Butternut Squash, revealed they aren't serious journos. I've heard them been accused of just being a tacky magazine program as well. BJ, the man who supposedly nearly died, had to be hospitalised, yet a few months later he was partying without a care, totally unfazed and not bothered about getting it again. Maybe the contracting and nearly dying bit was all a mistake or error of judgment or an oversight, as politicians would say. Could be right there. Les, being an MP is a full-time job and the only job an MP should be doing. I agree. They shouldn't be on news things full-time trying to influence the electorate. Jonah, the British mind, belongs to Soros. William, GB News and Talk TV have both been compromised, unfortunately, and they've been moved. Some videos have come out about that. Paz has done one on that. Arnold, why or how could somebody put themselves in a position to be 217 times? Well, they wouldn't. That's the point. It's utter bull, I think. Super, at that rate, it'd be having it every quarter. Exactly my point I made at the beginning. Elizabeth, when they rolled over, instead of backing Mark Stein, I stopped watching GB News. I do watch Neil Oliver, as he seems to be the only presenter worth watching on any news channel. I mean, this is the point, isn't it? They got rid of their presenters that were, well, decent, I suppose, and treated them very poorly. And Neil Oliver, and arguably maybe Nigel Farage is the only one left in there. Neil's been shuffled online. What's going to happen to Farage? It's interesting. And then will the transformation be complete? They can't quite do it yet, because then will we all think the worst? Well, we're discussing it, aren't we? So we'll see. Crypto. MP should have zero platform in the media. There are servants and should not be striving for fame and fortune. Well, the other one, you got Ed Balls on that ITV program with Susanna Reid, haven't you? Tony, GB News is now part of the mainstream media. Stop watching it when an unnamed presenter took to the knee in a very cringe-worthy. I remember that. I also follow Paz and the Angry Bootneck. Keep up the good work. Citizen journalism is the way forward. Yeah, there was a great thing I saw earlier. Jeff Buys Cars is another YouTuber. There was a story about I think it was a Jaguar electric car whose brakes failed, and Jeff's managed to score an interview with them before the MSN got their hands on them. That made me laugh. It just dignifies the whole experience, doesn't it? Another comment. Dan Wootton, the man who was literally sobbing when the Queen died, even Neil Oliver paid tribute to a remarkable life, says it all. When push comes to shove, it's the same old establishment brown-nosing. 2 more comments and we're done. I don't watch GB News anymore, but soak up Neil Oliver. He's tops. He is, isn't he? And then monologues he gives are absolutely brilliant. Welsh Help 9406. Yes, I also seen the news about the pincushion man, and also called BS. I read they're still offering it to pregnant women. Oh my God, it's awful, isn't it? How we were led down the garden path all that time ago, and how they still try to do so. You're pretty much all along the same lines with this, all thinking the same with this. There may be comments in there I didn't get to, which aren't. There's a new feature YouTube have introduced where I can actually reply to a comment with a short video. So if I see something, I think, oh, that's a good comment. Every now and again, I'll make a video of it, so you get a bit of interaction that way as well. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're doing well on that regard. Hit the like button. Share the hell out of my content. here's another video for you to watch. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.